In Cameroon, a soldier has been shot and a teacher killed in two separate attacks on Wednesday in the southwest and northwest of the country, and they, of course, are the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon. RFI's Laura Martel joins me here in the studio. Now, Laura, with new casualties every month and now even every few weeks, this crisis does appear to be escalating.
And in recent months, the African Union and the European Union, among others, already expressed their deep concern over the deterioration of the crisis. But actors and observers are now warning against the risk of Cameroon sliding into civil war. Agbor Balla Nkongho is the president of a bar association in the southwest region. He was among the civil society activists that were arrested in early 2017 for complaining about marginalization of Anglophone regions.
We currently have an armed struggle. I mean, from whatever point of view you look at it, there are armed groups now taking arms and they are fighting. They argue that it's self-defense. They are protecting their people. They are protecting their property against the atrocities committed by the government. And it's getting worse because each passing day we get more arrests, we get more killings, more people are kidnapped, more houses burned. So if we are not careful, we are sliding into a kind of a civil war.
His concern of a looming civil war is also shared by the International Crisis Group, who's worried that the upcoming presidential election next year will further fuel the crisis. In a report published today, the think tank indicates that now portions of the territory in the rural areas of the southwest and northwest regions close to the border seem at least partially to be in the hands of armed separatists. But Minister and government spokesperson Issa Bakari strongly denies that.
The
whole country is under the control of our administration, and our security forces are there to remove from our borders these terrorists who have found a haven in areas outside of our territory. They do sometimes make incursions into our country to brutalize people or vandalize property, but the nation in its entirety is behind the government and systematically rejects what these separatists are doing, so there will be no civil war. The people are actually helping our security forces by informing on them, and the only means these separatists have to force people to listen to them or follow them is through violence.
So, Laura, are there any initiatives underway to actually find a solution to this crisis?
Well, ICG is all the more worried that they consider that no dialogue whatsoever is underway to appease the situation. And that's why they consider that the Catholic Church should become a mediator in the crisis. Richard Moncrief, Central Africa Director at ICG, explains.
The Catholic Church is a widely respected organisation and has played a political role in the past. So the Catholic Church is representative enough and has a social capital, if you like, has a degree of credibility which could be put to good use in these circumstances. Second important point is that the government has rejected the call by Anglophone militants for international mediation. And evidently the Catholic Church in Cameroon can be seen as a domestic organisation and therefore could be acceptable to both sides to help bring the sides to the table and help to kickstart talks.
Agbor Balla Nkongho considers implicating all churches, not only the Catholic Church, would actually be a good idea, but the best chance for dialogue, according to him, would be that both the government and armed militants declare a truce.
It's not just only about government, it's also the arms group. It's not only about the armed groups, it's also about government. It takes the two of them to do something. But I think that because government has a role to protect the people, the property, I think government should show by making the first step.
The government is already currently talking with Anglophone people of goodwill, including civil society members and the clergy, answers Issa Bakari, including talks on more decentralization. But the authorities will never accept to discuss with those who want to put the country's unity into question, he stresses.
Okay, my thanks to RFI's Laura Martel for that look into, recent developments in that crisis in Cameroon's Anglophone regions. Now